This is Nathan and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at a scenario where Thailand forms an empire. Now, been a while since an empire video, not including like this pro empire, like just a regular empire video. We've had a lot of civilization series, we've had a lot of new series, so I thought before the new video of Emma Lord, what if we just bring back an old classic one and the empire series? Now Thailand, I would say, fight me, is one of the most interesting countries in Southeast Asia. When you look at their history, the fact they were the only country in this entire region to not be colonized, and if you are going to say the Philippines wasn't colonized, it was under American and Spanish control. I know the Philippines, a lot of people think the Philippines was not colonized, but it was colonized by actually 3 different countries. It was first conquered by Spain, then America, then was released and was guaranteed independence by America, then Japan ruled it, and then it got independence fully. Thailand never got conquered. They definitely had moments where they were threatened, like, you know, the British and the French coming onto their border, and also the Japanese coming down and forcing them to join World War II. But what if they decided to form an empire? Well, we're going to be buffing them and letting them expand. And the first country they're going to be expanding into is a country they actually have pretty bad relations with right now, Cambodia. Now, if you don't know, I don't really know much about this war, but Cambodia and Thailand have went to war and have now signed a ceasefire. Something happened over, like, an ancient temple. I'm not exactly sure. I know something happened, like, over a temple, but I think troops fight at each other. I have no idea. They've signed a ceasefire, but it could escalate, but I don't think China would allow that. The Thai forces will move into Cambodia and will absolutely obliterate the whole country. What do you guys think about a capital to this map? What do you think of me adding capital to this map? I have no idea where some of the capitals are located. That would be a very long process, but I would definitely do it. Anyway, Cambodia will have no chance. They lose their coast, they lose Phnom Penh. Don't know how you say it. I think it's Phnom Penh. And Cambodia will simply just surrender. Let's take a look at this peace treaty. Just like that, we see Thailand fully annexing Cambodia. Now, not even a few months after invading Cambodia, Thailand will immediately declare war on Laos. And this is where Vietnam is kind of like, okay, we've gone from no border to having probably the longest border in Southeast Asia. What are you up to? And that's simply because they form an empire, and maybe they're doing this to reform Siam, I think it's Siam. But troops, especially ones stationed down in Cambodia, will exit up into Laos. We'll see a group capture Vientiane. Oh my god, I have no idea how you pronounce that. I know the capitals, but I have no idea how you pronounce them. Like Madagascar and I think Madagascar's Antananarivo. Anyway, Laos will fall, and let's take a look at this peace treaty. Just like that, as you can see, for an annexation of Laos. And here we see Thailand stop. Mostly because they've just invaded their 2 weakest neighbours, and now they need to be smart. They need to be smart on how they play the next moves. They order China, that would be death, Malaysia, Vietnam, and Myanmar. Now, Myanmar's an absolute mess. I literally have just recently learned about it. They are apparently I have no idea what's going on with it. Honestly, the fact that China or India hasn't actually got involved in Myanmar has shocked me. Because what's going on there is kind of insane, and honestly, I'm shocked it hasn't broken any laws yet. To be fair, the UN doesn't really seem to care, especially with North Korea. But where's Thailand going to go? You know, Vietnam is definitely beefing up its forces, and a war with Vietnam would be really hard. I think Vietnam is their second strongest neighbour. If you invade Malaysia, that could cause some issues because of the Malaccan Strait. And then there's Myanmar. Yep, about a year after the invasion of Laos, we have Thailand invading Myanmar. Mostly to get better access to this area. I have no idea what this area is called. But at this point, that China's kind of like, okay, buddy, no. China will declare and will call out Thailand's expansion and say that this is wrong, they shouldn't be doing it. Yeah, sure. Thailand's not going to listen, even though they probably should, because it's the second strongest country in the world. Anyway, troops move in and immediately capture the Panhandle, and, they're kind of moving into just a bunch of guerrilla warfare areas. This is definitely going to be hard, though, because these areas don't want to be part of Thailand. Thailand will now make an operation to move down this area, and they will link up. They will eventually be able to capture most of this area before the guerrilla warfare gets too much for them. So then they make a goal to capture the capital of Myanmar. Actually, Naypyidaw? I'm really going to mess it up. I swear I'm going to have so many hate comments if I keep messing up these names. But they try and make a goal to capture that, but completely fail. And here is where Thailand can't move into the country anymore. The guerrilla warfare is simply too much, and it's just costing so much of their army. They will make a counteroffensive down here, which will go well. But then the guerrilla warfare just kind of takes this area back. And here we see Thailand having a stalemate with Myanmar, and they have to peace with Myanmar because the guerrilla warfare is too much. They can't push in, and Myanmar can't push back. So here we see Thailand will have a peace treaty with Myanmar. I don't know how it would work, but let's take a look at this peace treaty. As you can see, Thailand, that is the wrong thing. Thailand will be annexing all this land from Myanmar. This definitely does not help the situation in Myanmar. It probably makes it worse now. But Thailand has definitely gained a lot of land, and they are, well, their economy is going to benefit from this a lot more. Because now they have more areas for people to come in and trade with them. And you know, if I was Thailand, I'd be happy with this. I'd be done here. But obviously they're not done here, because this video still got probably a little bit more time left on it. So where does Thailand go next? You know, you just invade Myanmar, have peace with them, probably won't want to even invade them again, because, you know, guerrilla warfare. Vietnam, too strong. Malaysia, backlash. So where do they go? Well, they go to Sri Lanka. Don't ask me why. They're just invading Sri Lanka. Now, India and definitely China, they both have something to say about this. This is where China, is like, okay, stop. If you invade one more of our allies, we are going to invade you, even though we don't have any more allies in Southeast Asia. But they basically say, if you invade, Myanmar, or, anybody that's close to us, you are dead. And India's like, you're invading a country right by our border. Should we be worried? And Thailand's like, no, we're not planning on invading you. And honestly, these two don't have many, hostile relations. I think they're neutral in real life, but, here, they're kind of, separating. But Thailand will confirm that this is just for a base, so that if they get invaded from, Africa or the Middle East, they have an area to stop, for them to stop in. But yeah, sorry Sri Lanka, but here we see them get invaded, and they lose, however you say capital, I'm just going to call it Columbus, because that's his actual name. And we see the capturing of Sri Lanka. The peace treaty, surprisingly, they're not turned into a puppet. I don't know if Thailand would actually want to turn Sri Lanka into a puppet, but they will fully annex Sri Lanka into their country, and here is where things get really hard. What do? You know, we just invaded Sri Lanka, so what do? Well, Thailand gets an idea. They go up to China and are like, hey, we know you're not happy with us, but how about we help you get revenge on one of your enemies? And China's like, sure. Now, who could this be? Well, it's none other than Vietnam. Now, this is just sad. This is definitely going to be interesting. This is going to help the relations between China and Vietnam, and China will actually say that I don't know. Anyway, let's get this war over with, because I think it's going to be, I think Vietnam's dead. So the two things that have been assigned here. 1, China's goal is to capture Hanoi. Thailand's goal is to capture Ho Chi Minh City. And, well, China's going to be very successful. That's too small. China's going to be very successful in their invasion of Vietnam. And they're going to get to the capital, and they're going to have a very first battle there. Thailand will then split Vietnam in half, connecting to the Filipino Sea. I think that's what it's called. And then they push over to try and capture Ho Chi Minh City. And they succeed, but they lose a ton of troops. This area down here will fall over to Thailand. And here we see, okay, that's the eraser. Thailand will now push up the coast, pushing around, capturing any major cities that are here. and then they expand on this front and make a goal to cut off all troops from getting out of the ocean, which they succeeded in, and this area falls. At this point, China has been very successful in their invasion of Vietnam as they capture Hanoi, and here we kind of just see Vietnam not surrender. Well, the people kind of want to surrender. Well, Vietnam isn't going to surrender. They're going to fight until the last breath, and they will as they collapse. Let's take a look at this peace treaty. In the peace treaty, Thailand will be annexing this chunk of Vietnam, while China will be getting the rest. And yeah, you could say China definitely got a little bit more than they should have, but I don't think Thailand wants to make China mad, and they still got quite a lot considering. With this, China and Thailand are now going to have neutral relations. They're not going to have any hostile relations, but they're neutral. So it could go either way, but, they're neutral for now. And China's quite happy they got rid of one of their enemies. Now, where does Thailand go from here? They want to invade one more country. If they invade Myanmar, that's probably going to start up bad relations with China again. If they go and invade, another, ally China, which I don't even know if there is any more in this region, that could make them pretty unpopular with China again. But Thailand has one more country in mind, but before they ask China, you okay with us invading Malaysia? And China's like, go ahead, I don't really care, as long as you let us go through the Malaccan Strait for a little bit cheaper. So that's read. With that confirmation, Thailand will begin its final war against Malaysia. Thailand troops will immediately enter in, and this is going to be their toughest war yet, because they don't know how to help China. And their goal is to capture Kuala Lumpur. I'm sure I said that right. And this is costing them a lot. Malaysia's not weak, so this is costing them a lot. And here we see them push down, and they try to capture Kuala Lumpur, but fail. So then they do an encirclement around here, and some troops get trapped. And then they make an encirclement of Kuala Lumpur, and they can't capture it. So here we see them pushing down the Malaysian Strait until they completely capture this area. Eventually these troops fall, and after a very bloody battle, Kuala Lumpur is captured. And for the rest of Malaysia, Thailand just says, hey, how about this? Thailand says this, how about this? We take this, and we leave you alone. You can exist, and we won't harm you anymore. And Malaysia accepts that, and honestly, they'd probably end up uniting with Indonesia, because I don't know if this was survived its own country. And just like that, Thailand's formed its own empire. I probably will do Australia next. I wanted to get Thailand out of the way because I feel like they're a country I should have done. In fact, I'm probably going to do these two. Indonesia and Australia, I feel like they need to be done. But this video isn't over yet. Let me just save an image of this for the thumbnail. Because I've got to come over to this. This is the Empire map videos, but this is all the countries I've given empires, so let's check off the ones we've done. We've done Canada, so we can check Canada off the list. We've done the Netherlands and Switzerland, so those should have checked off the list. And we can also check off Thailand, because we have now done that today. Again, there are definitely still some countries here that I'm going to do before I actually start taking suggestions in. Because some of these countries need empires. I don't know how I haven't done some of them. South Korea, for example, and Australia, Indonesia. I'm probably going to do all these countries and then maybe do... I don't know. It's up to you. You can decide what countries have empires. We're doing every country in the world in this series, as long as it keeps up the support. So really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.